Good afternoon, I'm Isaiah Jacob. Last night, the Chicago Bears rallied back once again to defeat the Green Bay Packers. Chicago trailed 21-6 at the start of the fourth quarter before scoring 25 points in the final frame to beat the Packers 31-27. The number 2 seeded Bears were down 21-3 at halftime. In the afternoon window, Matthew Stafford led the Rams to a 34-33 victory with a 7-play, 71-yard drive that ended with a 19-yard touchdown pass with just 44 seconds left to give the Rams the win. Some more wildcard games are in action today. At 1 p.m., Buffalo travels to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. At 4:30, Philadelphia hosts the San Francisco 49ers. And then your nightcap, it's the Chargers traveling to New England to take on the Patriots at 8:15. Buckeye Hoops is back in action this evening versus Washington for the second half of their West Coast trip. Tip-off is at 6 p.m. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Oh, baby, it's time for On the Money because let's face it, it's more fun that way.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Here's Scotty Vegas and Dave Biddle.
Welcome to On the Money. I am Dave Biddle, joined by Scotty Vegas, producer Isaiah Jacob at the controls. We got a great show for you. We're going to talk National Championship game betting, Miami and Indiana. Miami playing in their home stadium. We're going to talk about Ohio State. Is this the new normal in college football, or is this something to be alarmed about? And we're going to talk NFL betting, Ohio State men's basketball, and much more. Scotty Vegas, how you doing this morning, my friend?
I'm good, David. I'm curious for you because after Indiana destroyed Oregon in that semifinal, I always try and like to make a guess at the betting line before it comes out. And I had seen the look-ahead lines on Indiana, Miami, and if that was going to be the national championship. And the look-ahead line was around 5.5, but I always like to try and guess what that line is before it's officially posted. And I thought it was going to be around 10. Like, my thought was, I think Indiana, how impressive they were against Oregon. Miami a little bit banged up at the end of that Ole Miss game, especially in their defensive backs, their quarterbacks. They got down to their like third, fourth guys. My thought was Indiana minus 10 after how they handled Oregon. It comes out at 7.5. Were you a little bit surprised at that number? And do you think there's serious value in that national championship number? Because I do.
That's right around where I thought it would be. I'm surprised you thought it was 10.5. Going to be 10.
I thought about 10.
Do you think that's partially because it's in Miami's home stadium? Which is crazy.
Gosh, it is kind of crazy. You know, the thing is, we see how those Indiana fans traveled. Like, they had like 95% of the stadium against Oregon.
They turned into Ohio State the way they travel.
And we know that Miami is generally not even great at showing up at their own home games. I know it's a national championship game.
This will be different.
If you look at the tickets, the ticket prices for this national championship game
$4,000 on average.
Yeah, I was talking to our friends over at Dream Seats, and they were talking about how this national championship game, like the price of it, is going to be astronomical. $4,000 just to get the worst seat in the building. I think it'll probably be close to 50-50, even though it's in Miami. It's Miami hosting a national championship game. I think it'll be close to 50-50. Indiana fans have never had to pay much money to travel to these big events.
All saved up, and they haven't really had to travel for basketball in several years either.
So I think there's going to be a lot of Hoosiers in that stadium, and just the way that I think Indiana's playing right now, Dave, I think anything under double digits is surprising to me. And I know Miami, like, we obviously saw firsthand how good their defensive line is. They've got some talent, obviously. Tony, the wide receiver, the Fletcher, the running back, Beck picking up some big plays with his feet. I like Indiana by double digits. I do.
I'm definitely not gonna bet against Indiana. They just look like a juggernaut. And in retrospect, losing by them by 3 points in Indy due to a missed chip shot field goal, not too bad. Everybody was like, "How can we lose to Indiana?" It's like they have just been blowing the doors off of everybody. Very impressive. It's seriously one of the coolest. If you can take us being Ohio State fans out of it for a moment. You just take like a 30,000 foot view of it, and it's one of the coolest stories in sports in a long, long time. Like, sports, period. They were the worst Power 4 team in the country. I'm talking the history of college football, the all-time history of college football. They were the worst as far as most losses, worst winning percentage. Cignetti comes in, boom, turns them around in year one. People are like, well, probably a fluke. And then they improve the next year, turn into this juggernaut, and they're just blowing the doors off of everybody. It's so impressive. And it's going to be kind of cool, even though, the first year we don't really take a lot of claim for it. But no, seriously, it's going to be kind of cool if the Big Ten wins 3 straight national championships.
You know what's funny, Dave, is yesterday on Twitter, I saw a couple videos of after Indiana lost to Notre Dame last year in the college football playoff. There was a lot of people criticizing Indiana even getting into that playoff last year by not playing anyone, right? Even at the end of the broadcast, Sean McDonough is kind of like, this is an Indiana team that really didn't play anybody on their way here. And then I went and I saw a clip of Kirk Herbstreit talking about, I hope we start rewarding teams based on wins that they have and that stuff instead of just piling up 11 win seasons. It's who they beat more so than the number of wins. And now we see what Cignetti and Indiana has done. And again, at the start of the year, they were 100-1 to win the national championship, and now they are a 7-point favorite to win, or 7.5-point favorite to win the national championship game. Dave, honestly, in all of sports, following it for 30 plus years for me, I think it's one of the most incredible stories that I can ever remember. Like, we think back to George Mason and VCU making Final Four runs in college basketball.
Butler,
back to
back.
Butler making a national championship
2
game
years in a row,
and losing to Duke and having a shot at the very end. We think back to some incredible things, especially in college sports. I think this is the biggest story. Assuming that Indiana is able to finish this whole deal off and start the year 100-1, this is absolutely incredible.
As far as an opposing team's venue, I've gone to Memorial Stadium more than any. I'm talking about any sport, period. I've gone to Memorial Stadium more than any other opposing team's venue. And every time I've gone, first one was in 1996. So if Ohio State won, they were going to clinch the Rose Bowl. And as usual, Ohio State fans took over the stadium. My friends and I started a pass, Dean chant walking into their stadium. And we had tons of Ohio State fans that. And we have a lot of pride about that we still talk about amongst my friends. Then there were many others, 2001, 2003. I'm trying to think if it was 05 or 07. Every time I've been to Indiana, just as a fan, because I've now been there as a reporter, it's crazy. It's not like there's more Ohio State fans here than Indiana fans. It's like 90% Ohio State fans in Memorial Stadium. It ain't going to be that way anymore. And it's interesting, for years, Indiana and Ohio State would play every year. And that's not the case now. But let's look ahead at some other stuff. We're going to get to Ohio State. Next segment's going to be completely focused on Ohio State. We're up to 27 scholarship players that have entered the portal. But I want to ask you about, have you followed the DeMond Williams situation, the quarterback at Washington? Yes, this is one of the most interesting ones. So he signed an NIL extension on January 2nd, and then what likely happened was Lane Kiffin, when he found out he wasn't getting Trinidad Chambliss, who he ended up not getting his waiver anyway, but he said he was going to stay at Ole Miss. A lot of people thought he was going to follow Kiffin to LSU if he got his waiver. So obviously Kiffin reached out to DeMond Williams in his camp right after he signed that NIL deal, offered him more money, probably offered him $5 million when DeMond Williams is going to be making $4 million. And DeMond Williams was going to do it. And Washington said, nope, we are going to hold you to this contract. Scotty, we're going to start seeing a lot more of this stuff. I mean, you have the situation with the kid from Georgia, then Missouri, Damon Wilson II, who left Georgia after signing an NIL deal. They sued him. He countersued them, went to Missouri, played there 1 year, and now he's back in the portal. It's just absolute insanity. But the DeMond Williams thing is one of the craziest things. I think what happened there was he probably thought he was going to lose that lawsuit, and then he came back, and they're acting like everything's fine. But that's going to be a weird dynamic in the locker room.
It is. It is going to be odd. Now, I kind of feel like this whole NIL in college football, first off, I feel like all these kids are now on 1-year contracts. I feel like every single player in college football is on a 1-year deal. And then at the end of the year, you reassess. And are you re-signing for more money, or are you just kind of going out there looking for another opportunity. Everybody's 1 year, and that's it. The other thing is, I also feel like these NCAA rules and the NIL rules and all the guidelines are about the equivalent of like people posting speed limit signs, right? Where, we're going to put the sign up of, okay, this is what you're supposed to go. This is the limit. Okay, 35 miles an hour, 45 miles. But no one pays attention to it. Like, it's kind of a guideline. It's out there. You see that speed limit when you're driving. However, if it says 45, that means, I'm probably going 54, 55, because I can get away with it without getting a ticket. Or, that's how I feel like NCAA rules and NIL. It's just kind of a guideline. It's out there. We see it. We're just not going to really follow it.
I'll take it one step further. It's like more like the Autobahn to me. There are no rules. I mean, there are certain schools that are not playing by the rules. Yeah. Ohio State's not one of them. Ohio State's trying to like somewhat play by the rules, and I think they need to throw caution to the wind. If the Michigan situation, I'm being serious, didn't prove that the NCAA has no teeth, nothing will. They gave them a slap on the wrist. After having like 10 pages outlining how they definitely cheated, then they're like, we're going to give you a slap on the wrist. By the way, before I forget, I'm watching the Packers game, and Isaiah Jacob had reminded me, I'm like, God, he reminds me of somebody. Who is it? And it's not a spitting image, but I'm watching the Packers, and Matt LaFleur, it might have been his last game as the Packers coach. And I think I've figured out Isaiah's celebrity lookalike, Matt LaFleur. Now, Isaiah's much younger. It's not spitting him. It's in the eyes. They're both good-looking guys. I think it's a compliment. They're both good-looking dudes.
It's a compliment.
I haven't gotten that one yet. That's the first time that I've gotten Matt LaFleur.
It's a compliment. However, this isn't exactly the day or the morning that you want to be compared to Matt LaFleur.
But I was in my head, and then it just hit me because I was like, God, he reminds me of like somebody. I thought it was somebody in football, and then bam, I was looking at LaFleur. Has the headphones on the sidelines. That's why I see Isaiah's got the headphones. It's the eyes. They have the same eyes.
Okay, I kind of see it. I'm curious now because we all, I feel like, get compared like doppelganger to somebody famous, right? So I'm curious if you've, in your time, Dave, have been compared to a celebrity. I'll tell you that there's been two that I've gotten.
I want to hear yours.
So one, Mark Cuban.
Oh, you've told me that before.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people say, okay, you look like, then people even were calling me Cubes. I would go to the casino, and there was someone there that was, Cuban, what's up? That kind of thing.
You guys do have similar bank accounts.
I wish I was the billionaire. I could fund Ohio State basketball. I would absolutely be like, here we go, let's get a national
he's
championship
funding Indiana right now.
In OSU hoops. And then the other one, this is going to go back a little ways. The Panthers quarterback, Jake Delhomme. He's another one that I was compared to. So those are the two that I've been. I'm curious on Isaiah, who else you've been compared to. But Dave, what celebrity lookalike have you been compared to in the past? I'm trying
to look up his name right now, but he goes, because I never watched this show. My sister-in-law, and then all kinds of people started saying they thought I looked like his character is Negus on The Walking Dead.
Negus or Negan? Because
you did like him.
I did watch The Walking Dead. Negan. Oh, okay. All right. Yes.
He's got what's his name? What's his real name? He's got three names. He's one of those guys.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
There you go. Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh my gosh. I just pulled it up. Yes.
You do look like him. Yep.
I'll take it. He's older than me. He's older than me, but he's a good looking guy. I don't think I'm quite on his level. All right, guys. So 27 scholarship players from Ohio State have entered their name in the transfer portal. So is this a bad sign for the program? Is this simply the new normal in college football? We discuss that next on The Money.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on the team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Bag huge savings on your painting projects at Menards. From your kitchen and bath to doors and trim, and even your ceilings. Dutch Boy has the perfect choice for your painting projects. Dutch Boy's Durafighter is a tough paint and primer that provides great scrub resistance and durability. Durafighter interior paint starts at $27.75 a gallon. Get an additional 15% savings on all Dutch Boy paints when you put it in the bag. See store for complete details.
Save big money at Menards.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here with Wesley Financial Group. My 78-year-old friend Linda called me yesterday. She bought a $40,000 timeshare in Nashville. She was told it was a great investment and that he would personally book all her vacations. All lies. She called our sales rep, Chris, the next morning at 4:57 a.m. to cancel, and she was told it was too late. You had your chance yesterday. Another lie. She has 10 days in Tennessee. I am in a war with the timeshare industry because people keep buying their lies, and they don't want me to help you. If you need a timeshare, I'm sure one of the 3,500 people that call my office weekly would love to give you one of theirs. Or go online and pay $1 for it, but stop paying $40,000 for lies. It's time to stop the insanity. Don't wait another day.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-474-1818. That's 800-474-1818. 800-474-1818.
Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com. Here, heart care helps you heal faster. Advanced, minimally invasive procedures mean less time recovering and more living life. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com.
Wrinkles, gray hair, and hearing loss are common signs of getting older. But being short of breath, having tightness in your chest, coughing, and wheezing are not. If you are experiencing these symptoms, you may be one of the millions of people who are living with a condition called COPD but don't know it. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years of better breathing to your life. For more information, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman here for Germain Honda of Dublin. So what's the difference? There are other Honda dealers around. Well, Rich Newsom and his team want to earn your trust. They don't expect it, and they earn it by giving you a great price, and then they back it up after the sale with same-day service, no appointment necessary, a great variety of brand new Hondas, and hundreds of pre-owned certified Hondas to choose from, all at the same location. Identify yours at GermainHondaofDublin.com. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Winters can be brutal here in the Columbus area, and if you're cold in your home with the heat running constantly, it's probably your old, inefficient windows that are the problem. The good news is that Window Nation can help you get through this season because in the last 20 years, they've installed over 3 million energy-efficient windows nationally, and they're trusted by thousands of Columbus homeowners to keep their homes comfy and cozy year-round, while also saving them money on monthly utility bills. And right now, they're more affordable during the Window Nation Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale. It's a great time to replace all the windows in your home. Plus, you could get your windows with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. You'll be surprised by the dramatic difference new windows will make. Your home will be better protected against the weather, feel warm and dry, and you'll love the lower utility bills. The pros at Window Nation will guide you every step of the way. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Save big with Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 sale going on now. The sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com right now. Window Nation, a proud partner of Ohio State Athletics.
When you're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis, all the F words apply. Football, food, and fun, and fat, and furry. They both have beards. And they dress up like animals and hump things. T-Bone and Tyvis.
Weekday mornings at 6.
The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It'll be blustery throughout the day with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour possible, with temperatures dipping into the 20s this afternoon. Overnight will be in the mid-20s, but Monday will be a warmer day with sunshine and highs near 40. I'm meteorologist Mike Joyce on 97.1 The Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. And now back to a show featuring two dudes who've been kicked out of their homes by angry wives. This pretty much sums up every show we have here on The Fan. You're listening to On the Money.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
So there's been a lot of panic, a lot of text messages that I've gotten of panic of what the heck is going on with Ohio State and this transfer portal and the number of guys that have entered the portal, and no huge names have transferred in yet. And everybody's just kind of on edge, it feels like, over the last week or two as far as the transfer portal goes. We're approaching close to 30 Buckeyes that are in that transfer portal. And one of the things I keep getting text messages, Dave, from people. Oh, ask Biddle about this guy. Ask Dave why this guy's jumping in the portal and all this stuff. But I think that the headline news from this week really was the Bo Jackson situation. That was that kind of came out midweek of, all right, Bo Jackson is seeking more money. Is he going to be entering his name into the transfer portal and all that stuff? And I think it's great news. And no matter how we got there, I think it's great news that Bo Jackson is back. I'll talk about, like, everybody's kind of like freaking out. However, think about this. You now have Julian saying a year of experience. Your quarterback is back for another year. That's the most important position, no question about it. And you're going to have him back. He was a Heisman finalist last year. And then you've got number one wide receiver Jeremiah Smith locked in, ready to go. And now you've got the running back, Bo Jackson, locked in. The offensive line, we think, for the most part, is going to be back this year. So as far as you go following the beat, day to day, you're obviously all over the transfer portal and all that stuff. What's your overall impression? First off, on the number of guys that are in this portal, and then also the guys that are coming back.
I think this is the new normal in college football. Now we're going to have 27 scholarship players and counting leave every year. And yeah, it's over 30 if you count the walk-ons. Maybe not that many every year at Ohio State, but I think it's going to be close to that every year. You're going to have this, close to this much turnover. It's just the way it's going to be, because and I understand where Ohio State fans are getting upset about this. But if you look around the country, this is very, very common that teams are losing upwards to 20, 30 scholarship players, especially big-time programs where they've got guys that came in as big-time recruits and probably thought in year two they were going to get a big raise. But Ohio State's not going to give somebody a ridiculous raise when they're not even projected as a starter. And there's guys that would have been key backups that I would have liked to see them keep. Really, the only starter, there's other guys that would have been in the mix to be a starter. Like Aaron Scott would have been in the mix to be a starter. I didn't like losing him. The one guy I had penned in Sharpie as a starter was Fahim Delane. And he entered yesterday. So there's been some guys where it's like, geez, most of them have been guys like, okay, maybe they were processed. Maybe then there's been several guys who the staff certainly wanted to keep. Quincy Porter's a good example, but he wants to get paid like wide receiver 1 when he was going to be probably wide receiver 3 at best, because they're bringing in Chris Henry as well, Henry Jr., and they're paying him a lot.
You're not paying him to sit.
And Brandon Ennis, people at least on Bucknuts and, when I talk to people, people kind of downplayed Brandon Ennis. I mean, he was a captain as a junior. I mean, he's definitely going to be a starter. So, and I think Chris Henry Jr. is going to be a starter. So did they want to keep Quincy Porter? Yes. Did they want to pay him, let's say, I don't know, let's throw a figure out there, $1.5 million to be perhaps wide receiver 4? They can't do that. And what I was told by a source is, listen, yeah, Ohio State has a lot of money, but you can't have it both ways. You can't say, we got to really beef up the D-line. We got to really beef up the D-line in the portal, and then say, well, why can't we pay our 4th wide receiver $1.5 million? You can't have it both ways. Now, maybe if we strike oil in Ohio, we do have fracking. Maybe if we have a fracking maven that could support the football program like Texas Tech does. But seriously, man, I think if you're a Buckeye fan out there, I understand the trepidation. Trust me, I do. And there's some, like I said, there's some guys in there. I'm like, oh man, even some guys that were backups like Jarquez Carter. I was like, man, it'd be nice to have him around. Bryce West, although it was a nice trade with Wisconsin there. You know, we got Christian Aliegro, the linebacker. They got Bryce West, the corner. So there's definitely some guys I wanted to keep, like Fahim Delane. But if you're a Buckeye fan, I just think you have to brace yourself. This is the new normal, and we've seen, I would say my first 17 years covering Ohio State football full time, it was pretty much the same deal. And then the last 5 to 6 years, it's just been crazy how much the sport has changed. And this is the latest thing with guys being able to enter the portal. And you could be like the OU running back. Well, I thought this is a good part of the portal, how you can transfer every year. The running back from Ohio University this past year transferred to Minnesota last year, got hurt, decided he didn't want to stay at Minnesota, came back to OU. In previous years, he wouldn't have been able to do that. So guys are getting paid. Guys are able to move around every year. You can transfer every year if you want to. No restrictions. I think this is the new normal in college football. And this is nothing to be – that's not like Ryan Day's lost the program or the Brotherhood's dead. I don't buy into any of that.
Nope, me either. Two other things that I want to address with you, questions for you. One, about the coordinators and what we're hearing about offense and defensive coordinator, but we also have a really good YouTube question out there from Rick Stone, and he asks, what do you think about the new partnership with Learfield as far as a revenue source? And to give a little bit of a background on that, there's been some criticism of Ross Bjork, and Ohio State has gone with a new revenue source as far as NIL instead of doing the foundation and all that stuff. Talk to me a little bit about that and your thoughts on that.
I think they should do both. I think they should have just allowed the foundation to stay separate and maybe have them just focus on the portal. You focus on retaining player, whatever it might be, that you focus on that. Recruits, although you're not supposed to really do recruits with collectives, because that's what I see other programs doing. Ohio State's trying to keep everything in-house, and other programs are doing that too. But Oregon's not doing that. Texas Tech's not doing that. Miami's not doing that. They have their in-house revenue sharing, and then they have a collective, right? And I think, it worked out really well with the foundation. I don't know why you'd go away from that. And I talked to Brian Schottenstein, came to say everything that he told me, but we had a long phone conversation about this, and basically it's like they've dissolved the foundation. They say that they've brought it in and everything is just, on one team, which sounds good, but really the foundation doesn't really exist anymore. And they were a huge part of Ohio State winning the 2024 national championship. Make no mistake about it.
Enormous part.
Yes.
Enormous part.
So
we remember the transfer hall that came in that year, no doubt about that.
And everybody they kept, too. Like Tuimoloau and all those guys.
No doubt.
Yeah, Sawyer.
No doubt. And then, obviously, right after Michigan wins the national championship, you make the splash of bringing in Quinshon Judkins, and then you bring in Caleb Downs. We know how great that
Will Howard.
Will Howard, yeah, absolutely. The next thing I want to get to is the coordinators.
Yeah.
So, offensive coordinator, what are we hearing? And then Matt Patricia, because a lot of people are talking about, oh my gosh, you're losing a lot of guys on defense, and there's a lot of question marks, and I completely get that. I keep coming back to, as long as Matt Patricia is the defensive coordinator, I will feel pretty good about the defense coming back. What are you hearing as far as Matt Patricia and coming back?
I think he's going to come back. I was really nervous about it midweek. It sounded like Bobby Carpenter, who's very much in the know, of course, was dropping some hints that Patricia's at least going to be looking if defensive coordinator jobs open. Then it was like the next day the Cowboys defensive coordinator job opened up. I still think there's a chance if a team gives him a lot of money,
like a Cowboys,
to be their DC. I think there's a chance he's. But if I had to bet, I think he's going to stay. Okay, offensive coordinator, and it'd be massive to lose him. I agree with you, Scott. Offensive coordinator, I'm like pie in the sky here. I went Todd Monken. That seems like a long shot candidate. Then again, Ryan Day's proven he can get like Matt Patricia. I know Chip Kelly was a little different because they have a tight relationship, but maybe he could get Todd Monken, who was the Ravens offensive coordinator before that, was at Georgia as their offensive coordinator. If not him, maybe Brian Daboll. I want an experienced offensive coordinator. It's pretty clear. You look at Ryan Day, he's definitely at his best when he has a veteran offensive coordinator on his staff. First 4 years he had Kevin Wilson, great offenses every year. He leaves for Tulsa. Heartline's promoted. They dropped to 48th in the country in total offense. Bringing Chip Kelly the next year, national championship, one of the best teams in the country in red zone, short yardage situations. Didn't have a veteran offensive coordinator on his staff as an assistant coach this year. They're one of the worst teams in the country in red zone and short yardage. So I think he needs to get an offensive coordinator from the outside with vast experience, and I do not want to see him promote from within.
Good stuff, Dave. We'll talk more Ohio State as we go throughout the show. However, we're going to switch gears because Next segment, we want to help you win and make some money today. We got 3 huge NFL playoff games. Bills, Jags starts it off. We're going to talk NFL betting next. This is On the Money.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
I slept in a lot of different rooms, different beds, but none of them really felt like mine. I spent 14 years in foster care, mostly in group homes. And I never had much left because I always had to be ready to move. Why get things if you just have to let them go?
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a forever family and a permanent home of their own.
Now I have my own room with walls that tell my story. I love hanging out in here. I play dress up with my sisters and I sing and make videos. But the best part? Knowing I'll always have a place to go and a family that loves and supports me.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
We are your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan Ohio sports destination. Scotty Vegas is still offering player props at his kids' soccer games. This is On the Money.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Welcome back to On the Money. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Isaiah Jacob. Big day of NFL playoffs today. I love it. 3 good games on the docket. Bills, Jags will kick it off at 1. Then we have 49ers at Eagles. And then the nightcap, Chargers at Patriots. Boy, I mean, if they can be as exciting as yesterday's games, look out. My goodness. I think everybody thought the Bears were dead in the water. What a comeback from Chicago.
Oh,
and you wonder if that's going to be Matt LaFleur's final game with the Packers. There's a lot of talk it will be. Let's start with Bills, Jags. I know the Bills have been very good for the last several years, and everybody's, now's their time to the Chiefs are out of it. Now's their time. I don't know, man. I think the Jags are going to take care of business today. What do you think?
I'm with you 100% on this one. It's actually the most confident of the 3 games for me is Jacksonville. And as you're talking about, like, oh, no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow in the AFC playoffs. It's like, okay, Josh Allen is clearly the best quarterback that's left in this bracket, and I get it, but he hasn't exactly been great in the playoffs. 5-8 against the spread in the playoffs, 0-4 straight up on the road, and the Bills have to go on the road. And quite frankly, to me, Jacksonville, they're coming into the playoffs on a heater,
yes.
Right? I mean, they've won 8 straight games. They go 13-4. They win the AFC South. Like Trevor Lawrence has been impressive, but that Jacksonville run defense is the number 1 run defense in the NFL. I like Jacksonville a lot. That spread's sitting there like right around a pick 'em. I think it's right now, I think maybe a 1-point spread. That's the most confident pick that I have for today is in Jacksonville. Although I will tell you, my confidence is a little bit less because I felt pretty good about the little parlay that I put together yesterday, Dave, which was Rams minus 5.5. I moved the Rams line from 10 to 5.5. Felt confident on that. Rams get out, huge lead early, and kind of just have to hang on and come up with a last-minute touchdown to win that game. And then the most painful, I had the Packers at plus 3.5 yesterday.
Oh, my God.
And I didn't hedge because it was like, okay, they're up 21-3 at the half. Right. They're up 11 late. And then I just keep seeing a horrendous defense. I keep seeing kicks being missed. And so instead of the plus 3.5, they end up losing the game by 4. Just what a day.
Those are the worst. That's just one of those times you say, I'm never betting on sports again. And then the next day you're betting on sports.
Yeah, I said it a few times yesterday.
I'm done betting on that. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to be betting tomorrow a lot. So you look at that. It's interesting that's you're most confident about the Jags. I'm pretty confident about that too. Good, because that point spread's not very much, like you said. The Jags are favored by 1.5. Then you look at 49ers at Eagles. Eagles favored by 5.5. And then tonight, Patriots at home favored by 3.5 over the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh against Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
I'm liking that.
Yeah, that'll be a fun way to end our weekend.
Speaking of coaching, let's look ahead, and we're going to get back to NFL betting today, but let's look at some of the odds to be like the Browns' next head coach, or where's John Harbaugh going to go? Okay. The odds to be, and you can't bet on this in Ohio, but I think this is more like the offshore. Is this from AG? Yeah, this is from our friends at AG online. Jim Schwartz is your betting favorite to be the Cleveland Browns' next head coach. 5-2 odds. Barely ahead of Mike McDaniel, 5-1. Then it goes Clint Kubiak at 6-1. Mike McCarthy, 8-1. Robert Saleh, 8-1. Chris Shula, 8-1. Todd Monken, the aforementioned. Don't take Todd Monken. We want him as our offensive coordinator in Columbus. 8-1. Cliff Kingsbury, another one who some fans have asked me about. What about Cliff Kingsbury at Ohio State? I'm like, I'd be okay with it as offensive coordinator. I'd be better than promoting from within. And then the other one, Dan Pitcher, which is interesting, 12-1. He's currently the offensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. That'd be a weird hire for the Browns. But Jim Schwartz is your favorite to be the Browns head coach, barely ahead of Mike McDaniel. Then you look at John Harbaugh. He is expected to be, if you look at the betting odds, the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins, -175 odds if you want to bet on John Harbaugh being the Miami Dolphins' next head coach. And then the team with the next best odds is the New York Giants at 7-4, which equals out to +175. Sounds like Brian Flores is going to be the Raiders' head coach. At least the betting odds reflect that. But I don't know what to make of the Browns. Jim Schwartz, what's your initial reaction to that if it happened?
It's interesting. It's funny because I think back to the history of the On the Money show, and I'm curious if you remember this, but we one year decided to list all of the coaching jobs that were open in the NFL. And then we had a little draft where we tried to put together what team was going to hire what coach. All right. And we went back and forth, and there was like 7 or 8 openings at the time. And we're trying to like label it and figure it out. And we're looking at the odds and we went 0 for 7. It was unbelievably tough.
I think one of them was Belichick too, wasn't it?
Yes.
Was this a different one? Then we had to redo the segment because we pre-recorded it. And it was something like we said Belichick was going to be, God, I'm trying to remember where. The
Atlanta.
Cowboys, I think.
Oh, Cowboys. Okay.
It was the Cowboys, I think. This could be 2 different things. This could be 2 different. But I do remember we recorded a show early because we were doing the Wednesday show at the time.
Yep, it was Wednesday when we did it.
Yeah, and I think we recorded it on Tuesday. And then the next day they decided, the Cowboys came out and said they're not hiring Belichick. And he didn't, and then there was the Falcons. So Belichick just didn't even get a job.
Right. And it was a Wednesday night show, and I literally brought in a gigantic dry erase board.
I do remember that.
We are gonna fill this thing out, and we are gonna say who these next coaches are gonna be. And then afterward, about 2 weeks later, you look back on it and like, oh, we went 0 for 7 on where to predict these coaches are going to be. It's so hard to predict, and I know they put these odds out there. That's one thing, and I do some fun prop bets. I've never put any money down on coaching hires. I just think it's so random as far as NFL goes, who these guys end up with. And as far as Jim Schwartz, I don't think that would be a terrible hire, but I don't think that's who they're going to end up with.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they will. By the way, speaking of the Browns, Kevin Stefanski is your favorite to be the Giants' next head coach. The Giants would prefer John Harbaugh, I'm sure. And 2-1 odds for John Harbaugh to be the Giants head coach. But Kevin Stefanski, even money to be the Giants' next head coach.
And I'm curious who Browns fans want. And I know, Isaiah, you're a Browns fan. First off, your thoughts on Jim Schwartz. And second of all, is there someone out there that you're like, oh my gosh, I really want them to be the coach?
There's no one that I would love. The first one that comes to mind when I think of someone I'd love to have be the coach is Harbaugh.
Yeah.
right off the rip, he seems like the obvious choice. I don't think he'd come to Cleveland. We'd probably have to give him full power of the whole organization for him to come over and coach a team that he's watched fail over and over and over again. So I think he'd have a hard time with the Haslams, probably working that out. But the Jim Schwartz thing's interesting to me because he has been the sole portion of the team that's been working. He's been the defensive coordinator for the past 4 or 5 seasons, and it's been good. And so I think for the Haslams, they're probably thinking right now, if we do bring in a brand new head coach, are they going to want to bring in their own defensive coordinator? Are they going to be able to retain Jim? And then if they get rid of him, is that the one thing that's working in the next season? If the defense is bad, now the whole thing has completely been blown up because that's been the anchor the past couple of seasons. So promoting him and maybe having one of these offensive coordinators that right now we're interviewing for head coach, probably at the same time they're going to ask, would you be willing to be the OC here if we keep Jim on? But I think Mike McDaniel's an interesting one as well. He was here back in 2014 when we had Manziel, and he's a wide receivers coach, so he has some history there. I know that we're interviewing him, I think, this coming Thursday. So that would be another one that I would be okay bringing him in just because he did have success with Tua and the offense down there in Miami. So I think we need an offensive guy to come in. I wouldn't be opposed to keeping Schwartz on because I do like him, but at the same time, him or Kubiak probably would be the top 2.
It's too bad you guys can't just get both of them as like co-head coaches, Jim Schwartz and Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, that
Mike, you do the offense, Jim, do the defense, and then you guys can take turns. Decide now. You could never do that, and both those guys are going to be head coaches probably. So. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, I think you outlined that very well. And then the Ravens' next head coach, Jesse Minter, is your favorite. 5-4 odds, which equals out to a plus 125 if you want to bet on it. Brian Flores is also in the mix for the Ravens job, plus 350. Seeing John Harbaugh fired was interesting. Did you see the way they did it?
Yeah.
It sounded like they were going to keep him, and they had a meeting and everything. Then they fired him. He was driving from the football facility back to his house, and Biscotti, who they're friends, like Steve Biscotti, the owner of the Ravens, they've had a tight relationship. He fired him over the phone. Like, that couldn't wait for an in-person meeting. He's been your coach for 18 years.
Boy, and it really surprised me. I know that there was a lot of talk going into that Steelers game. And let's face it, it was, a 40-yard field goal that if it goes in, they're in the playoffs. And they were in position to get into the playoffs, and they were hot, right? It felt like if that team got into the playoffs, that was a Ravens team with how open this NFL is, that was a team that could make a run. And so I was really kind of surprised. And the other thing that went through my mind is, gosh, you're firing Harbaugh. Everybody else is like dying to talk to Harbaugh and get him in. And so you need to make sure that you absolutely hit a home run as far as the replacement to Harbaugh, because you're getting rid of a guy who's been there forever, done good things. And like Jesse Minter is currently the favorite to be there. I'm not sure if that's a significant upgrade from John Harbaugh.
Yeah. Now, I do remember when they fired Brian Billick, I was like, ooh, be careful what you wish for. He won a Super Bowl, and they brought in John Harbaugh, who was a special teams coach. He wasn't even a coordinator. Well, he was a special teams coordinator. It wasn't like he was an offensive defensive coordinator, and that ended up being a great hire. So I hate to say it being a Bengals fan, but the Ravens have a very, very, very good organization, a great organization, from the owner, general manager, all the way down. So I'm sure they'll hire a good coach. All right. Can Ohio State's men's basketball team go 2 for 2 on their Pacific Northwest swing? They play at Washington today. We're going to discuss that next on The Money.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Tri-State Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Tri-State Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654, or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations locations in the area to serve you in Hilliard and Westerville.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron, you know how it seems like everything just moves faster nowadays? You mean like technology and all those crazy inventions? Well, our furnace repair buyback program means you can slow down and take your time deciding what to do.
Get Eco.
We act fast so you can plan slowly.
You're right, Jerry. If your furnace fails in the dead of winter, call us. We'll be right there to fix it the day you call.
Boom. We're there. It's fixed.
Get Eco.
But our repair buyback means you still have time to think it over in the warmth and comfort of your toasty warm home.
And if you decide you'd rather replace that old clunker, instead of fixing it every year, we'll credit the money you spent on repairs against the purchase of a brand new furnace, up to $1,500.
We act fast so you can plan slowly.
How long have you been working on that line?
Good poetry takes time, Aaron.
Get Eco.
GetEco.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here with Wesley Financial Group. My 78-year-old friend Linda called me yesterday. She bought a $40,000 timeshare in Nashville. She was told it was a great investment and that he would personally book all her vacations. All lies. She called our sales rep, Chris, the next morning at 4:57 a.m. to cancel, and she was told it was too late. You had your chance yesterday. Another lie. She has 10 days in Tennessee. I am in a war with the timeshare industry because people keep buying their lies, and they don't want me to help you. If you need a timeshare, I'm sure one of the 3,500 people that call my office weekly would love to give you one of theirs. Or go online and pay $1 for it, but stop paying $40,000 for lies. It's time to stop the insanity. Don't wait another day.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-474-1818. That's 800-474-1818. 800-474-1818.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thidoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand. The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Dave Biddle named his own dog Parlay. This is On the Money.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
So let's turn our attention to Buckeye hoops. Big game today. Ohio State on the West Coast taking on Washington tonight. They're a 1.5 point underdog in that one. Now, the other night, Thursday night, they played a 10:30 game, and they were a 1.5 point underdog in that game against Oregon as well. So maybe a good omen because they were 1.5 point dog on Thursday, and they won that game by 10. Hopefully the Buckeyes take care of Washington tonight as well. Kind of a big picture look. I know that the goal is this to be an NCAA tournament team. I pulled up the bracket matrix, which basically takes 58 different bracket projections. And right now, it shows Ohio State as right on the bubble. In fact, of the 58 different projections, 41 have Ohio State making the tournament right now. 17 have Ohio State missing. So about three out of 4 have Ohio State making the tournament. The projected seed right now is 11. So they are one of those like last teams in at this point. And I know it's mid-January, so there's still a lot of basketball to go. But that gives you kind of a big picture look of where Ohio State is at this point in January, where they are just like right on that bubble. And the goal is to obviously make the NCAA tournament. And a big way to do that is by picking up road wins. That improves the metrics significantly if you can go and pick up a big road win. They got it at Oregon, and now you got Washington today. But, Dave, this is a team that is not deep. Ohio State is not deep at all, and now they're dealing with an injury with Brandon Knoll going to be out for a while. And we've already been kind of highlighting the lack of bench production for Ohio State hoops, but this is a big opportunity to get a big win tonight at Washington.
Gabe Cupps stepping up against Oregon was huge. He didn't do anything crazy. I think he had 9 points, but he played solid defense, couple of assists. That's huge because he'd been doing pretty much nothing. They had, when they moved Bynum to the starting lineup, and then Knoll was on the bench. It was really only Knoll that was effective off the bench, and not always. Now, like you said, he's out for 6 weeks. If they can get Cupps to play like that, that'd be big. They need the big 7'1" guy to step up a little bit.
Nagovin,
Ivan Nagovin, because I thought this year would be a year where he could at least, add something. He's adding almost nothing. Tyson Chapman, is it Tayson? Yeah, Tayson Chapman doesn't do anything. He's barely playing. So I'm really concerned about the depth. That being said, I like the starting five. I like the starting five a lot. I mean, obviously it starts with Bruce, but Devin Royal. I really like the starting five, what they've put together. And Bynum has a really, really, really high ceiling. I think he's going to be a good one here.
The other thing, Dave, is you look at this, and obviously the main goal is to make the tournament. The Big Ten is very good, by the way. I don't know how many people are paying attention as far as how good the conference is, but they've got 5 teams that are ranked in the top 16. Now, Michigan did lose yesterday, which was great to see. They lost to Wisconsin.
Wisconsin had a 9% chance of winning the game, according to ESPN's Basketball Power Index going into the game. That was fun to see.
Yeah, how about that? But it is a very, very tough conference. However, this next 10 days is enormous of whether Ohio State's going to be a tournament team, because Washington is very gettable. They are 9-6 on the year, 1-3 in the Big Ten. If you can get this one tonight, pretty much a 50-50 game. And then you've got a home game against UCLA. UCLA at home during the next weekend will be a big one. Opportunity to get that one. And then you have a home game against Minnesota. If you can somehow sneak out winning those 3, I think that would go a huge way, Dave, in this being a tournament team. So I think this is a big 10 days, and then you go and you take on Michigan on the road. That's going to be a rough uphill battle. But I think this is a big stretch starting tonight for the Buckeyes.
No doubt. And if you can go 2 for 2 in the Pacific Northwest, not that Oregon and Washington are great teams, but that would be huge for this team to be 4-2 in the Big Ten. Because I don't know what you think about this, Scotty, but I think if the Buckeyes are able to go 500 on the dot in the Big Ten, I think they're going to get in the tournament.
Yeah,
if you get to 4-2, if you get to 4-2, you put yourself in a great position. You give yourself a little bit of wiggle room. I still think you need one. I think they will. They need to get one good upset, whether it's over Michigan or whoever it might be. They had a good chance against Nebraska and blew that. They need to get one of those where you can say, okay, that's a nice marquee win right there. But then they don't really need to do anything fancy on top of that. Just finish 500 in the Big Ten, and I think that'll get them in.
And I was looking through some college basketball betting odds. If you like to get a little bit of futures action, which I do, there's one team in the Big Ten that I've got my eye on as far as to make the Final Four. They're 15-1, which I think is really good value. They're actually right now 16-0 and they are 5-0 in the conference. They've got wins at Ohio State, at Illinois, at Indiana, a win at home against Michigan State. So they've got some really good wins. It's Nebraska.
Yeah.
They're really well coached. Fred Hoiberg does an awesome job at Nebraska. And so I think, in looking at their schedule coming up, I think there's a good chance they win the next 3. They're undefeated going into late January, a game against Michigan. I think Nebraska at 15-1 to make the Final Four is really good value, because the way things are trending right now, they're looking like being a top 2 or 3 seed.
I was surprised Ohio State gave them, and really Ohio State should have won the game, or at least had a good chance of winning the game. I was kind of surprised because I thought Nebraska might, not blow them out, especially with the game being in Columbus, but I thought Nebraska might win somewhat comfortably. Buckeyes are right there with them, though. So that's probably a good sign because, Nebraska's legit. It's probably a good sign for Ohio State, know, that they played Nebraska that tough, which is weird to say. You have Indiana as the best college football team, and you have Nebraska as one of the best college basketball teams. We're living in a Twilight Zone era here.
So big game tonight, 6 o'clock, Ohio State, Washington. Ohio State, a 1.5-point underdog. Earlier this hour, we were talking about doppelgangers. And you brought up our great producer here, Isaiah, doppelganger to Matt LaFleur. You brought that up.
Yeah, not spitting image, but the eyes remind me a lot. Isaiah's much younger.
Yep.
Both good-looking dudes, so yeah, that's what I'm going with.
I've heard myself. I've heard compared to a Mark Cuban,
yes,
and a Jake Delhomme. You've been compared to, from The Walking Dead. Negan is the character. What was the actor's real name? I remember.
It's funny. Like Scotty told me during the break. He's like, that's the reason that character. He's like, that's why I stopped watching The Walking Dead. He hates my doppelganger that
Negan.
much.
It's Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Okay,
Dean Morgan.
All right. Now, Isaiah, you said that one of our listeners in the YouTube chat had a doppelganger for you when you were on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear who this is, because I can't wait to hear it.
It was like a week or so back, and it's one of those where you read it and you're like, there's no way. Like, what are these guys saying? And then you look it up and you're like, man, he really got me. And the one that I saw, and he's bald, so that throws you for a loop. He's bald, but when he wears a hat and has a beard, and his name's Connor Stallions. And if you look up Connor Stallions, the first picture that pops up, it does.
That's pretty good.
It does resemble me.
If I Google Connor,
you Google it, it'll be the first picture that pops up. He's in a hat with a beard. And he does.
Well, the first picture I popped up was him coaching for Central Michigan, it looks like.
That's weird,
with spy
right?
glasses on? No.
Makes no sense.
No, I think that's legit.
I see it.
I think that's legit. That might be better than Matt LaFleur. Oh, my goodness. And you guys are of similar age. All right, guys. First hour of the show is in the books. Stick around for the second hour. This is On the Money.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Don't start the new year with the same old ride. Right now, score low lease payments on all 2026 models, like $149 a month for a brand new Elantra or $159 for a new Sonata. Hurry in and kick off the new year right. Columbus or Dublin or glexhyundai.com. With approved credit, $39.95 down plus tax, title, and fees. 2-year lease with 10K miles per year. New Hyundais come equipped with owner assurance and America's Best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Ends 2/2.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm the Innovation Ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. So I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Your child is sick. With those 4 words, the innocence and joy of childhood disappears. But Starlight has taught us 4 other words that make all the difference. The power of play. Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon, I'm Isaiah Jacob. Last night, the Chicago Bears rallied back once again to defeat the Green Bay Packers. Chicago trailed 21-6 at the start of the fourth quarter before scoring 25 points in the final frame to beat the Packers 31-27. The number 2 seeded Bears were down 21-3 at halftime. In the afternoon window, Matthew Stafford led the Rams to a 34-33 victory with a 7-play, 71-yard drive that ended with a 19-yard touchdown pass with just 44 seconds left to give the Rams the win. In college football news, Ohio State has lost freshman Fahim Delane to the transfer portal. Delane was a top 100 prospect in Ohio State's 2025 recruiting class, but Ohio State has received a prediction to land former Florida State starting safety Earl Little Jr. The 22-year-old previously played at Alabama and is ranked as the number 7 available safety in the portal. Buckeye Hoops is back in action this evening versus Washington for the second half of their West Coast trip. Tip-off is at 6 p.m.
Some people golf on Sunday mornings. Some people place bets on the people playing golf on Sunday mornings. This is On the Money.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Welcome back to On the Money, 97.1 The Fan. Appreciate you guys riding along with us on this Sunday morning. I am Dave Biddle. I'm joined by my friend Scott Prokop. We, of course, like to call him Scotty Vegas. We have the superstar producer Isaiah Jacob at the controls. And right about now, Isaiah, it is time for the parlay party. Hit it, my friend. All right, parlay party is where we celebrate anything we want to celebrate. Could be a nice parlay that we hit. Could be anything at all. Scotty Vegas, what are you celebrating?
Yeah, so first off, I'm celebrating the NFL playoff games yesterday because that was a blast to watch. Like that was just nonstop entertainment yesterday with both of those games coming down to the last drives. I didn't expect it with that Rams game. I was like initially thinking, okay, I'll be in and out on this game. Ended up being locked into it because it looked like the Panthers had a good shot to pull off the incredible upset as a 10.5-point dog. That was fun. And then last night I kept like being ready to like go to bed because I'm like, all right, well, this thing's about over. And the Bears would keep it interesting. And so I just kept watching and just treat it to one of the most incredible finishes last night. And that 4th down play, Caleb Williams keeping the play alive, connecting when they were down 11, and then getting the touchdown. Just an incredible night of NFL football. Had so much fun celebrating that. And I'm also celebrating the fact that a week from now, Dave, you and I are going to be out at the casino watching NFL playoff football. We are throwing a watch party next Saturday afternoon. It'll be for the 4:30 game. We don't know exactly which game that'll be yet, but we will be out having fun, placing bets at our favorite place, the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Dave, what are you celebrating on this Sunday?
Yeah, definitely yesterday's playoff games, like you said, it was just so exciting, both of those games. And even if my bets didn't cash, it was just good football. And I'm celebrating the slate of games we have today. Now, good luck matching what happened yesterday. We have 3 good games today, starting with Buffalo at Jacksonville, and we have San Francisco at Philly, and then the LA Chargers at the New England Patriots. So 3 really good games. Definitely celebrating the fact that after the show, I'm going to go home, get some lunch, maybe do a quick little workout, not long, and then sit down and just watch football all day, and then probably get divorced because my wife will be mad that I'm doing nothing but watching football. No, she's used to it. She's used to it and then some. And real quick, I'm also celebrating, even though today, maybe I shouldn't mention this since it's cold as heck today, but I was loving this weather we were having, man. We were having 60 degrees last couple of days in Ohio in January. Definitely celebrating that, but yeah, and then today it's back in the 20s. But Isaiah, what are you celebrating?
I'm celebrating a pretty good day of betting yesterday. I went 2 for 2 on parlay, so that's always a great feeling. Just little ones. They were little 3-leggers, but $40 a piece. I'll take that. I went 2 for 4 on the day because I always, for every NFL playoff game, I always take the quarterback rushing yards over. So I think they're more likely to run during the playoffs. And last night, Caleb Williams and Jordan Love both were. Well, Jordan Love was 2 yards short, and Caleb Williams was 1 yard short of hitting their over, so I would have went 4 for 4. But a good day at betting. Hopefully I can roll that into today, or today it's just going to even back out.
Yeah.
I'll go from being $80 up to right back to 0.
I'm gonna put together some parlays when I get home for sure on the end, and just some solo bets. Like one that I did hit yesterday. Overall, it was a bad day. Puka Nacua. You could get plus money if you because his over-under was 89.5, I think, for receiving yards, and if you bumped it up to 100, you were getting plus money. He's money. I mean, no pun intended. Puka Nacua.
Yeah,
and I just love
that big drop at the end of the first half.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. That was so rare. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, he does that? And then, yeah, he's human. Even J.J. Smith drops balls sometimes. Usually the first ball of the season, J.J. will drop, including the first when he was a true freshman. But NFL playoff football is just so good. I mean, sometimes in the regular season, I'm like, am I losing my love of NFL football? And then I'm not. And then the playoffs start. I'm like, gosh, this is so damn good.
It's so funny you say that, Dave, because I kind of was feeling that towards the end of the regular season too. I'm like, we're kind of limping to the finish. I'm catching the games, but I'm not as into the NFL games as I had been in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the year. And then these playoffs start, and I couldn't take my eyes off of those games last night. They were so good and entertaining, and the drama was great. And I feel like today is going to be the same because we have 3 games where I feel like they could almost go, all 3 could almost go either way. And I feel like the Super Bowl is so wide open that nothing will surprise me in these playoffs. And so, I'll be locked in every second today.
Okay, so typically we do something called categories for college football, and we talk about, and the 3 of us collaborate on this. So who won the day, who lost the day, the coolest thing we saw. We're going to do a fusion of college football semifinal games and NFL playoffs so far. So just 2 NFL playoff games, but just 2 college football semifinal games. So of those 4 games, we're going to say who won the day, lost the day, and the coolest thing we saw. Okay, who won the day? All right, I was going to say it's got to be just Indiana, right? And then, what the Bears did yesterday. I mean, your thoughts.
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, you can't go wrong either way.
Yeah.
If you were to be really specific, Mendoza and even his quotes after the game, he's just so impressive to me. It's for a long time, I was like, okay, really good season. Is he really worthy of being a top pick in the NFL draft? And now I have little doubt that he is going to be really successful as the Raiders quarterback. I'm like, the Raiders are going to be very lucky to get Fernando Mendoza because of his intelligence and how good he is, and he can run when he needs to.
He's accurate. He's got good size. He really does have everything. I know some people criticize some of his post-game interviews thinking he's phony. He's not phony.
Yeah.
That's just how he is. He's just a quirky guy.
Yes.
I think, even my sister, who's a big fan, my older sister was after the Big Ten change, she's like, well, this guy is just strange. He's a phony. He's strange. He's weird. And then she was then she watched the Rose Bowl. She's like, I kind of like him though. I'm like, I'm telling you, he's a good guy. You hear him talk for the first time, you're like, what? That's kind of strange, but he's smart. He's a good dude. You're not going to have to worry about him being a knucklehead in the NFL.
Right.
That's always, and I thought that might have been a concern with Caleb Williams.
Yes.
I was totally wrong about that because that's the other one. His pass on fourth down. That was insane that he did that.
Incredible.
All right, so what do we want to go with?
Oh my gosh.
Who won
so
the day?
back and forth because like the Bears, the first half of that game, all the fourth downs, they went for one on their own 32-yard line. Like Ben Johnson, if he doesn't come back and win that game, I mean, he was throwing it away with how many they went 2 for 6 on fourth down attempts. That's unbelievable.
You know what I especially love
they still win the game
about the NFL playoffs too? Is the home game and home atmospheres.
Yes.
Like Al Michaels was talking about, he was like, this is like my 31st time in Chicago. I've never heard it this loud. This booth is shaking. This is the place to be. And I kept thinking like, oh my gosh, if we could just get that in college football playoffs. I know we get it the first round, but if you got it in later rounds, like the atmosphere, the excitement of the atmosphere would be incredible.
Indiana had a pretty good shot at it. How many Hoosiers there were in there?
True. They took over.
Insane.
But I would say, like, just the people that were at that game, the stories that you'll be able to tell forever of, oh, we were down 21-3 at the half. It was cold. I took my shirt off. I was in the stands when Caleb Williams threw that ball on fourth down. Like, just the stories that they will have for a lifetime. I'm going to go with the Bears were the ones that won the day.
I will acquiesce to that. And even the atmosphere for the Panthers, I mean, they were starving for, a playoff berth, and they finally got it, even though they're 8 and 9, and their fans were just going crazy the entire game. Okay, do you agree with that, Isaiah?
Yeah, I agree. There was a point in like the second quarter where they said all the Bears fans are just wanting to cheer for something, anything. Because it was at that point they were getting their butt kicked. They're like, if any good play happens, this place is going to explode, and that just makes it so much better.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Who lost the day, and is it somebody who looks a little bit like a fine producer? Okay. Not Connor Stallions. That is a good one. That is a good one. Whoever came up with that, like they're on the money. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be Matt LaFleur, right? Or maybe Jeff Hafley, our friend Jeff Hafley. But I didn't even think Matt LaFleur getting fired was even going to be a thing, even despite what happened last night. Then I read some stories on The Athletic, and Packer fans are ready to move on. The writer was saying, yeah, it's probably pretty likely he's going to get fired. So I think it has to be Matt LaFleur. What do we think?
I think it has to be. I mean, again, Packers blow a 21-3 halftime lead. They blow a 27-16 lead with 6 minutes to go in the game. They have 2 missed field goals, a missed extra point. But even more so, guys, they took a delay of game penalty coming out of a timeout in the fourth quarter. Like, that was just atrocious. They took stupid timeouts on defense. Their last 7 drives, 1 touchdown, 4 punts, missed field goal, end of game. Like, that was a disaster.
It's got to be him. But I do want to have an honorable mention here.
Yeah.
Okay, that being Dan Lanning.
I was going to say that.
Dan Lanning, he comes out like he's like a WWE wrestler and everything, everything's intense. He makes sure there's a camera in the locker room every time so they can. You want to talk about phony? I think Dan Lanning's a little bit phony. If you have a camera in your locker room when you're giving a fiery speech, that's supposed to be private between the coach and the player and the players. Every once in a while, I'm okay with it. If you're doing that before every game, you're a self-promoter. And if you're going to do this, we're the most physical team and come out here, rah, 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 you better back it up. Instead, Indiana just destroyed them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's very fair because we look back now, like what happened in his last playoff loss, too.
Mm-hmm.
Got absolutely destroyed. And I like him. I think he's a really good coach. But how many at-bats is he going to get with these really, really talented teams and follow up, not just lose games? Like Ohio State lose. When Ohio State loses, generally it's a 4-quarter tight, tough loss, one play here or there. They just got absolutely destroyed in the last 2 playoff losses.
Absolutely. And they even, like, when he was at Oregon, they lost to Washington both years.
That's right.
And that cost him, big time. He and Kalen DeBoer got the best of him. So he's not been good in big games. I've heard him now compared to James Franklin. I won't go that far. All right, really, really quick before we take a break. Coolest thing we saw was at the 4th down pass from Caleb Williams.
Boy, and I saw a little
25 or something.
Little clip where they froze it, and it almost looks like Michael Jordan, with the jump man and throwing the ball. I like it. Yes, I think that was the coolest thing I saw.
And I hate to. It was just a great day for. I like the Bears. I mean, they're not my favorite team, but I don't like the Cubs, and they signed Alex Bregman while all this was going on. So good day for Chicago sports fans. So, yeah, I think that's the coolest thing we saw. What do you think, Isaiah?
Yeah, I think so, too. One other one that I would mention is seeing the Ole Miss kicker drilling those, 57 and 58 yards. It was almost shocking for me being an Ohio State fan, because all I'm thinking is there's college kickers that can, one, make kicks, but not only make kicks, but make 58 yards, unbelievable. Even though he doinked the one and then doinked another one in, he was literally their best player that day.
He was amazing. And not only that, but those from 56, 58, those would have been good from 62, 64. He wasn't just barely getting those in. He was booming those things. I was so jealous of the kicking game. Please, let's spend some money on a kicker.
No doubt about it. I think they will. All right. Up next, we're going to go back to Ohio State football. How do we feel about the Buckeyes heading into the 2026 season? This is On the Money.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan. Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron, you know how it seems like everything just moves faster nowadays?
You mean like technology and all those crazy inventions?
Well, our furnace repair buyback program means you can slow down and take your time deciding what to do.
Get Eco.
We act fast so you can plan slowly.
You're right, Jerry. If your furnace fails in the dead of winter, call us. We'll be right there to fix it the day you call.
Boom. We're there. It's fixed.
Get Eco.
But our repair buyback means you still have time to think it over in the warmth and comfort of your toasty warm home.
And if you decide you'd rather replace that old clunker, instead of fixing it every year, we'll credit the money you spent on repairs against the purchase of a brand new furnace, up to $1,500.
We act fast so you can plan slowly.
How long have you been working on that line?
Good poetry takes time, Aaron.
Get Eco.
GetEco.com.
Wildlife around the globe needs help. And when you help protect them, you become a friend of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Thank you for helping protect wildlife around the globe. Without you, there's no them. Learn more at sdzwa.org/friend.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I. And then we.
Brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on the team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Your child's oral health milestones matter. By age 1, see a pediatric dentist to establish good oral health habits. At 7, see an orthodontist to check your child's bite, teeth, and jaws. Around 15, visit an oral and maxillofacial surgeon to have your child's wisdom teeth examined. Remember, milestones met, healthy teeth set. Visit milestonesmet.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here with Wesley Financial Group. My 78-year-old friend Linda called me yesterday. She bought a $40,000 timeshare in Nashville. She was told it was a great investment and that he would personally book all her vacations. All lies. She called our sales rep, Chris, the next morning at 4:57 a.m. to cancel, and she was told it was too late. You had your chance yesterday. Another lie. She has 10 days in Tennessee. I am in a war with the timeshare industry because people keep buying their lies, and they don't want me to help you. If you need a timeshare, I'm sure one of the 3,500 people that call my office weekly would love to give you one of theirs. Or go online and pay $1 for it, but stop paying $40,000 for lies. It's time to stop the insanity. Don't wait another day.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-474-1818. That's 800-474-1818. 800-474-1818.
The best words to hear at the TSA security checkpoint? You're good to go. All it takes is a little preparation. Get to the airport early, bring a carry-on bag that fits in the overhead, and have an acceptable ID. Not all state-issued IDs will cut it. Check out tsa.gov/ID and see which TSA acceptable IDs make the grade, like a real ID or passport.
Before you jet, do a little prep, and you're good to go. Check out tsa.gov/ID or the MyTSA app.
Common Man and Timmy.
So I doubled up on my Prozac, and I'm feeling very strange.
Wow, that could make for an interesting 3 hours.
Common Man and Timmy Afternoons on the Fan is sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It'll be blustery throughout the day with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour possible, with temperatures dipping into the 20s this afternoon. Overnight will be in the mid-20s, but Monday will be a warmer day with sunshine and highs near 40. I'm meteorologist Mike Joyce on 97.1 The Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip, and I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Scotty Vegas can't even pronounce most of the names of the tennis players he bets on. He doesn't care as long as they win. You are listening to On the Money.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
That's right, guys. We got a little Australian Open tennis coming up very soon. That'll be fun to get some live betting action on some guys and gals that I can't even pronounce their last name. It's still fun to bet on them, of course. All right, let's talk Ohio State football. It's funny, guys, because I feel like every hour during the week this last week, I had to be checking online to see if there's anything new. Is there a new guy in the portal? Is there a new visit? Is there a new commitment? Is there any rumors on the offensive coordinator position? Is there anything new with Matt Patricia coming back? What's going on with Bo Jackson? It feels like it's never ending right now over the last week. I'm sure, Dave, you on the Ohio State beat, it's just been absolutely crazy over the last week or so, and trying to figure out who's going where, who's doing what, who's going to the NFL, all that good stuff too. One of the big things that I wanted to get into, Dave, this segment was Bo Jackson and him committing to come back for next season, because to me that was one of the major pieces. Is you've locked in Julian Sain coming back, so you got your quarterback back, you got Jeremiah Smith coming back, you've got Bo Jackson coming back. It feels like the offensive line is still in place.
If Max Clare comes back, they're going to have 10 returning starters, not including Tegra, because looking at the postseason starters, yeah, I mean, because Tegra at that point was hurt. So technically, Tegra was a starter this year, so you can say 9 starters. But if Max Clare comes back, they're going to have 10 of their 11 starters that started in the CFP this year.
And one of the things that I think, has been so important for Indiana and their run all the way to the national championship this year is the experience. If you look at the Indiana 2 deep, right, it has got a lot of guys that have a lot of college football experience, have been in the game a long time, and their age. You look at their average age. Their average age is older than most other college football teams. And so Ohio State bringing back all that experience on offense is a big deal. Talk to me a little bit about the Bo Jackson situation, the kind of negotiations back and forth, and then Bo ultimately landing and coming back next year.
Yeah, I saw Cardale Jones post something about this that I agree with. I think it was a little unfair to Bo. that this became so public and fans were taking shots at him. And I had to get on like our board and be like, all you guys that were talking trash about Bo all day, or some of the guys that are celebrating he's returning, it's okay to be disappointed. But I think when you start like bashing somebody's character, when you don't know 100% if what you're hearing is true, people are hearing, well, wait, do you think he's like Keith Byers in 1984? He wants $1.5 million. Like, do you know for sure that he was asking for $1.5 million? I don't know that for sure. Maybe he asked for it but didn't demand it.
Yeah,
because he's not getting $1.5 million. I mean, it's a lot like the NFL. It's like you look at the transfer portal. Who makes the most money? Obviously, quarterbacks. Who else? Defensive tackles, offensive tackles, corners. Okay, if you're a running back, you're not going to make as much. Okay, if you're a tight end, you're not going to make as much. If you're a linebacker, you're not going to make as much. It's just like the NFL when you talk about what positions are valued the most. So, what do I make of it? I'm just glad he's back, man. I think, and everybody was like, oh, yeah, he doesn't break tackles and he doesn't have breakaway speed. I'm like, he was a true freshman. He broke plenty of tackles.
Yeah.
He's gonna get better and better. I thought he had a really good year overall. And I'm just glad he's back, because I still think they're gonna try and get another running back in the portal, but they like Isaiah West as well. They'll have Turbo Rogers. So I think what happened was he definitely was asking for a raise. I think Ohio State was going to give him a raise anyway. I don't know exactly what he's getting. I wish they would make this stuff public.
I know.
Right? I mean, these should be like, they're going to have forcible contracts, which it sounds like they are doing with what happened at Washington with their quarterback. Why is this not public information? We have a way of finding out. I know exactly how much Jeremiah was making last year and how much he's going to make this coming year. But I have not heard specifically about Bo. I don't think he was making much last year. He was definitely going to get a raise. How much of a raise? I don't know. But $1.5 million to me, that just seems like I have a tough time believing that he even asked for that much.
Well, here's the thing for me. I have no problem with these players trying to make absolutely as much money as they can, right? It's a small window, of an opportunity, and you got to take advantage of it. And I know that people are like, oh gosh, he played here last year. Where's the loyalty? Look, all these guys are on 1-year deals at this point. In my estimation is it's like, okay, you're here, you play the season, and then everybody is up for grabs.
Just like the coaches. How long was Chip Kelly here?
And to criticize a player for trying to make as much money, like, you'd be crazy in your own job. If you're not out there trying to make as much money as you possibly can with your employer, then, that's the whole deal for me. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to make as much money. That's what he's trying to do as well. And all these players are trying to do. So to criticize him, and there was a lot of criticism out there of Bo and his negotiations with Ohio State. Ultimately, he's back. I'm glad he's back, because when does Ohio State win national championships? When they have elite running backs. Look, you had Maurice Clarett, elite running back, win that national championship. You had Zeke and the run that he went on. You win that national championship. Last year, you had Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. You need elite running backs to win it all. And so I'm glad Bo Jackson is back. Let's talk about other positions. What do you think is next as far as what Ohio State absolutely needs to address?
Well, and they have the money to do it, because I know they made a push to keep Caden McDonald, and it seemed like there's no way it was going to happen. Then I was told he's listening. Him and his mom are listening closely, because they made a strong run at K-Mac. So they have that money earmarked, and now K-Mac is going pro, which, frankly, he should. I wanted him to come back selfishly, and he was going to get paid a lot, but he's going to be a first-round pick. So I think he's making the right call. They got John Walker, the defensive tackle in the portal, already from UCF, but they need to get more. They need to get at least another defensive tackle. They got 2 more, I'd be good with that. And that's why I was told, from a source that would definitely know, one of the reasons they can't pay like a Quincy Porter $1.5 million, for example, is because they're already paying JJ a lot. They're bringing in Chris Henry, he's getting a lot for a freshman. Ennis isn't making a ton, but he's going to be playing. He's going to be a starter. So you're talking about there's a chance that Porter, as good as he is going to be wide receiver 4. You can't be using $1.5 million on wide receiver 4. I was told they're going to try to beef up the defensive line as much as possible. Defensive ends as well. So doesn't sound like they're going to get Chaz Coleman, but that was one that was definitely on my radar. He was at Penn State. He's an Ohio guy. I was thinking, okay, that makes a lot of sense. He's going to the highest bidder.
Tennessee, I think, right?
Yeah, with our old friend Jim Knowles. Yeah, so we'll see what happens, man. I still think they need to get, especially now with Fahim Delane leaving. That's the one I was like, geez. I had Fahim penciled in as a starter with Caleb leaving. They need to get a safety. I'd love to see Coy Parrish, but apparently they're not really going after him. He doesn't want. That doesn't make any sense to me. For those who don't know who he is, he's a safety from Minnesota. I think that would be a great get. But with Fahim leaving and all these other guys leaving, they need to get another corner. They need to get a safety. They already got the linebacker from Wisconsin, the completion of the Bryce West trade, as we joked about. But definitely, man, people say, what about offensive line? Well, you look at it, they've got 7 guys with extensive experience returning on the offensive line, unless one of those guys leaves. You look at guys like Austin Saravan, Luke Montgomery, Carson Hinsman. You look at Phillip Daniels, now with Ian Moore, Gabe Van Sickle, and Josh Padilla. That's 7. Those are 7 guys that played a lot this year. And they have some other guys on the come up, like a Carter Lowe, a Jake Cook. They got some guys coming in as freshmen that they like. So I think they're okay on the offensive line. Will they kick the tires? Yes. Mark Pantoni's not going to leave any stone unturned, but they're not just going to get an Ethan Onionwa and pay him $1 million to come here and be like barely on the 2 deep. When they already like their offensive line. But defense is going to be the key, specifically the defensive line.
Yep. And as I said earlier in the show, the key, I feel confident in the Ohio State defense with Matt Patricia running the show on the defense. All right, we're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout, and then you're not going to want to miss what's next. We're going to do a little off-the-top NFL preseason versus what actually happened in 120 seconds. This is On the Money.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay. How about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
At National Geographic Society, we believe in the power of wonder. It drives us to explore, pushes us to see the world differently, moves us to action. And we believe that today, wonder is more essential than ever. Wow. That's why we're supporting a new generation of explorers to ask big questions, make breakthroughs, and bring the future closer. Wonder awaits. Will you join us? Visit natgeo.org/wonder.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvis weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, the Fan. If you can't find something to bet on, you're not trying hard enough. You're listening to On the Money.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Welcome back to On the Money. All right, Isaiah, I don't know if we're going to like this segment, but Scotty is going to quiz us. We're going to collaborate, Isaiah and I, and we're going to come up with the answers. And Scotty, the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. So we are going to look at what the kind of preseason numbers in the NFL were, and then what the betting odds are now. And so I'm going to start out with this. So teams that went way above their overall win total. So before the season, you have an over-under number on season wins. Who went the most over their win total? What team?
Okay, so let's think about, so the Patriots came to mind.
Oh, that's a good one. I was thinking Patriots, Broncos, maybe Panthers.
Panthers only won 8, though.
I guess they were probably a 5 or 6 range.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they were 6 or 7.
I'm thinking either Seattle.
Oh, Seattle.
Broncos or Patriots.
I feel like it's between Seattle and the Pats for me. I feel like Seattle What are they, 14-2? Is that what they went?
14-3, I think. Yeah.
Oh, 14-3.
Or is it 15-2? I don't know. I'm still not used to the 17 games either, and it's been like 5 years we've done it.
I feel like that has to be the most.
Seattle?
Because I think the Pats went what? They won, I think, like 11 games.
Are we allowed to look at the current records or no?
No. No cheating.
We have to. Oh, that wouldn't be. I wasn't going to look at the. It's not really
Connor
cheating.
Stallions. We've already compared Isaiah to Connor Stallions.
We cheat then if we have Connor Stallions on our team. No, I'll go with whatever you think. I'm torn.
I'm thinking Seahawks. It feels like they've won so many.
Yes, sir. 1-0. By the way, we're going to quiz you on 7 different things, so you guys are 1-0. Okay. Now we did the teams that overachieved. By the way, just so you know, the Seahawks were 5 wins over their season win total. So their season win total was 8, and they ended up with 13 wins.
Did we also get the number 2? It was Pats and Broncos next?
No.
Oh.
There was a tie. It was actually the Bears were 4.5 over. The Jags were 4.5 over, and the Patriots were also 4.5 over their season win total. Broncos 3.5. Now we want those underachieving teams, and there's a 3-way tie of teams that actually were 5.5 games below their season win total.
I was thinking Baltimore, but they won 8. Would that be 5.5 below? Was there over under 13.5? There's no way, right? They were the Super Bowl favorite, though, I think, entering the year.
And to get credit for this, you got to get 2 of the 3.
Okay, I'm thinking Chiefs could definitely be one of them.
Chiefs for sure.
That is one.
Them in.
Yep, that's correct.
What do you think about the Bengals?
I want to say they were like right around 10, and they ended up winning 6. So that wouldn't be 5.5.
That would be 5.5.
Now, could they have had 11.5? It's possible because the people were pretty high in the Bengals this year, despite them fielding one of the worst defenses in NFL history when the dust had settled.
Another one that I think of too, and this is I feel like a riskier one, but the Commanders come to mind because Jaden Daniels was playing great last year. I know that they're right in the same mix as the Browns are in draft order. I'm trying to think of those teams that are right in the same top 5 picks right now, because that's if you're getting 5.5 games, you probably had to win 3 or 4.
I like that because like some of the other teams that are were really bad, like the Jets were expected to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. So you're going Commanders, and you are correct.
Nice job,
2 for
Isaiah.
2. The team you didn't mention is also tied is the Arizona Cardinals.
Wow.
They were 5.5 wins under their win total. So before the season, they were over under 8.5 wins. They ended up with 3 wins. Kansas City and Washington were the other 2. And then the Raiders were actually 4.5 under their season win total.
Pete Carroll, one and done. Chip Kelly didn't even make it the whole season. No, he's at Northwestern.
All right, so let's now go with season awards. All right.
Okay.
MVP, the favorite is Matthew Stafford, and Drake May is right there as well. But who was the preseason favorite to win the MVP?
Lamar? Josh Allen?
Those are the 2 that I'm between. It's either Lamar or Josh Allen. Same page.
Yeah. Burrow's probably in the mix, but not at the top because he had an MVP-esque season last year. If you look at the numbers, I'm thinking Lamar.
Lamar works for me because Josh won it last year, didn't he?
You guys are on fire.
Yes, this is like NBA Jam.
All right,
you're on fire.
I think you guys will get this one. Who was the preseason Defensive Player of the Year favorite?
I'm thinking either Myles Garrett or Parsons or
That's
Watt.
correct because they both were. they were both co-favorites to be preseason Defensive Player of the Year. You guys are on fire. Now I'm going to get a little tougher.
Okay.
And by a little, I mean a lot tougher.
We deserve it.
Coach of the Year. Who's the favorite now and who was it in the preseason? You got to go 2 for 2 here.
Is Ben Johnson the favorite now?
That's in my mind.
Yeah,
it feels like Ben Johnson probably.
Of course, he's not going to get credit for last night, but wait a minute,
Mike
McDonald.
I was thinking also, what about Mike Vrabel? With the Pats, I feel like that's a good one too.
You could go. I don't think it'll be Sean Payton, but it could be him. It could be Mike McDonald with the Seahawks.
With the Seahawks, that's a great one.
Could be the Jags coach.
I'm in between. I feel like it's either Vrabel or Mike McDonald. But I don't know which one it is.
Let's go Mike McDonald. So they had...
It's Vrabel.
Oh, no! Here's my reasoning. We should, yeah. God, and it's not like Vrabel is an Ohio State guy or anything. Here's the thing. Like, I was thinking, because the Seahawks went further over their preseason wins and losses.
Makes sense.
Over under.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't actually use logic when they voted on this. No, I'm kidding.
And Ben Johnson was the preseason favorite. So
he was the preseason favorite.
Yeah. Vrabel is the favorite now. So defensive rookie of the year. And again, by the way, these awards do not include postseason.
Shamar Stewart.
So
I knew that right away, didn't I, Scott?
Yes, you did. All right. So defensive rookie of the year. And I bring this one up because Isaiah might be interested in this. So I need the preseason favorite and the current favorite.
The current's Carson Schlesinger.
Yes.
For the Browns.
That was a great pick. I think Quinshon was a great pick, too. He just got hurt.
Who do you guys think the preseason defensive rookie of the year was as far as the odds?
How about first one that comes to mind is Abdul Carter. He was a top 5 pick.
Yes.
Gosh, you guys.
Him, right?
Yes.
Nicely done.
Is he a bust, or is it this? Maybe it'll click next year.
The second half of the season, he started to get a little stronger.
Okay.
The first half, he was pretty miserable, but the second half, he was better.
All right. Solid. One more. Offensive player of the year. Who was it preseason, and who is the current favorite?
Rookie?
No, this is just offensive player of the year.
Offensive player of the year. So not a quarterback. Anybody who's not a quarterback?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do we think it was McCaffrey or Bijan or Derrick Henry?
Bijan would be a good one. That feels likely. Are there any wideouts that possibly could be considered? Like a Jamar Chase?
Yeah, but I
Justin
bet
Jefferson
could be. I bet I would guess it's a running back.
I still lean Bijan. I feel like that's a great answer, right?
Okay.
Is it?
Who's the current one? Current favorite?
Is it Jackson Smith and Jigba? I know that he's in the running. Is it him?
It is.
About that?
Yep, JSN is the favorite. The preseason favorite was actually Saquon Barkley. You guys did pretty well with that.
I'll take it.
I'll be honest with you. I thought that was going to be a little trickier than what it was. I thought maybe the under season win total thing would get you. By the way, going back to the teams that overachieved, underachieved throughout the year. So as far as underachieved, the Baltimore Ravens, their preseason win total was 11.5. They end up with 8. So they were 3.5 under. And then you guys also brought up the Cincinnati Bengals. Their before the season win total was 9.5.
9.5.
And they end up winning 6 games. The Browns, they were before the season over under 5.5 wins. They end up with 4 wins. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, 8.5 was the preseason total. And they end up with 9 wins because that's what they do. What do you guys think Monday night? We got the Texans-Steelers game. It's in Pittsburgh. What's your guys' take on that one? Do you have a feel one way or the other? Because I'm going to be rooting for C.J. Stroud and the Texans, but I still feel like going to Pittsburgh for a playoff game Monday night, I think it's a tall task for C.J. I'm not going to bet that one because I just don't have a strong feeling one way or the other. But do you guys have a feeling on that game?
Yeah, I like because of the Texans' defense, I think they're going to win the game. But you're right. I mean, them having to go on the road to Pittsburgh to play that game, it's going to be a good game. But I think I'm just so impressed with Houston's defense, and obviously I think C.J. Stroud's really good. A lot of Buckeyes on both sides in that one. I mean, the Texans have a lot of Buckeyes, not just Stroud. I mean, they got Cade Stover, they got Tommy Togiai. I'm leaving somebody out that they have as well. And the Steelers have a bunch of Buckeyes too. Cam Hayward. I know Will Howard. It's usually the
Jack
emergency
Sawyer.
quarter. Yeah, and Jack Sawyer. And I think they have another Buckeye too. Don't they have Malik Harrison? Yeah.
Yep.
Local kid from Columbus who had a great final year at Ohio State. Yeah, I think the Texans are going to win that game, but I expect a close one. I think that they're going to win it on the strength of their defense. And this could be, if they lose, this could be Aaron Rodgers' final game ever. I kind of get the feeling he's going to come back. What do you think?
Boy.
What else would the Steelers do? Why not just run it back with Aaron Rodgers? What else are you going to do? Mason Rudolph's not the answer.
Yeah.
Maybe give it to Will Howard. No. But
It does kind of feel like, why not run it back, right?
He's been solid. Like, he hasn't been incredible, but he's looked good. And that's like, when I think about Monday night, the Texans defense, they have a great defense, but Aaron Rodgers does have that experience. Like, he could be the X factor in trying to negate some of that. We saw it against Myles Garrett. He won't take sacks. We know he won't take sacks. And so if he's playing that Texans defense, he knows how to work around a good defense. But it's the one thing that'll anchor the Texans.
Burrow last week, that seemed like he was giving it to Myles Garrett. I don't know why Burrow would. I don't know if he would. But it seemed a little Strahan, Brett Favre-esque.
It was a little soft, I won't lie. It was a soft sack.
And maybe it is one of those things where Burrow's like, I'm going to take care of him, even though he's a Cleveland Brown. Because the Bengals and Browns, yeah, when they're playing, they hate each other. But I don't think that there's this, like, how do you feel as a Browns fan? Do you hate the Bengals?
It depends on who I'm around. When I'm around Dave, I don't hate them, but I have some friends that if I'm watching the game with, I hate him.
You know what?
I thought he was going to say around Dave, he does hate them.
That is so true. You know what? Like I'm kind of like that with the Steelers, where I don't hate the Steelers, but when I'm around certain Steeler fans, then I really like, that are obnoxious, then I really start to dislike them. Like, like Cole. Cole's going to be coming in here. Here's a Steeler fan. I don't mind.
He's wearing his
Steelers whatever
hat right now.
But like, Tito, if I'm around Tito, I don't want to, as a Steeler fan, then I hate the Steelers. Like your fandom really kind of is adjusted by what fan or what person you're around.
When I was a little kid, I did hate the Browns because it was like the Bengals and Browns had the Battle of Ohio was real. I'm talking way back when I was a little kid. I'm old. Boomer Esiason against Bernie Kosar. Those were some great games. My sister, I still am mad about this. She had a poster up in her room with both Bernie Kosar and Boomer Esiason. She liked both. I'm like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You got to take the Bernie one down. I'm sorry. Like,
you know what's funny? Speaking of hate and different fan bases, so I have always hated Indiana basketball, like with a passion.
Yeah.
When I grew up, I just because as a OSU hoops fan, I just always that was the team that I hated, even more so than Michigan basketball. Hated Indiana basketball, and now like. I'm enjoying, not that I wanted, obviously, Indiana to beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, but I'm kind of enjoying this run that they're on. Like, I'm rooting for them. I was rooting for them against Oregon a little bit. I really want them to beat Miami. I want them to kill Miami next Monday night. I really do. But it's funny because I hated Indiana basketball, and I figured I would never root for any Indiana team, but this Indiana football team I'm kind of getting behind a little bit.
All right, up next is Best Bets, and we might have Ryan Baker drop in. This is On the Money.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more. Designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements. More energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or visit tristatemenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
Thanks to your support, the nonprofits VetTix and First Tix have given away tens of millions of tickets and counting to vets currently serving military, the immediate family of troops killed in action, and our brave current and former first responders. These tickets are a meaningful way to say thank you to America's heroes. And now we want you to be part of the mission. Got extra tickets to concerts, games, or special events? Or want to see if you qualify? We want you to go to vettix.org and firsttix.org today. Give something to those who gave.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. And now back to a show featuring two dudes who've been kicked out of their homes by angry wives. This pretty much sums up every show we have here on The Fan. You're listening to On the Money.
Sponsored by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Updating your up-to-the-minute Super Bowl odds at our favorite place, Hollywood Casino Columbus. The Seattle Seahawks are the favorite at plus 360 to win the Super Bowl. Then you've got the Rams plus 375, Broncos 7-1, Eagles 7-1, Bills and Patriots are 10-1, Bears 11-1, Texans 12-1. It feels wide open, which is why we are excited to invite our friends from Fan Sports Sunday, Ryan Baker and Cole Bartemus in. And guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little throwback. We used to do this on The Money years ago where we would have the producer be the judge. Ryan, you were a judge at one point. You were such a terrible judge that we completely nixed the segment. We threw it away.
Don't make me get my gavel.
Here we
got
go.
a false start coming out of the rejoin, and we got someone with their microphone off.
Don't make me go get the gavel.
So here's the deal.
This is why we're doing the Sunday shows and not the weekday shows.
Isaiah, who might be the best producer in On the Money history, is going to be the judge of this segment, and he's going to say who made the best case. And what we're going to do is say who we think is the best value to win the Super Bowl at this point. And Cole, why don't you start us out?
Okay, this is a really tough task, which means it's a great question. Up until yesterday, I would have made a case for the Rams to win the Super Bowl, but the fact that they got outplayed for a large portion of that game by Carolina, I'm not going to do that anymore. So here's my principle. You have to make it really far and lose before you can make it really far and win. And we have a lot of teams that are not battle-tested in the playoffs and don't have that type of pedigree. I'm making a case for the Buffalo Bills. Regardless of where they're seated, I think the Buffalo Bills have the most playoff experience. You got to make it really far and lose before you can make it really far and win. And we have a lot of teams in these playoffs that haven't made it really far at all. And so I'm making a case for the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl.
Ooh, all right, Ryan.
So I think there's two things that matter in the playoffs: quarterback play and experience, and
You're going Steelers.
And head coaching and experience. And listen, the Steelers, I don't mind them with Aaron Rodgers. They're going to muck games up, and they've got a chance at the end. But where I'm going to go here is I'm going to go on the head coaching experience side of things, and I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to go the Denver Broncos. Their head coach, Sean Payton, has Super Bowl experience. He's got a quarterback who is pretty efficient, and obviously he hasn't been there in the playoffs before like this, but he's very similar, I believe, to Drew Brees. He's not Drew Brees, but he's very similar who Sean Payton won with, and they've got a good defense. I just think head coaching and quarterback play matters. And Sean Payton has been there before. He's won it. He's changed this franchise. And Bo Nix has been very efficient this year.
Okay. Took a lot of time. He may have gone over making the case, Isaiah.
Well,
one of the things we do is we try and keep it a nice, concise
Scotty makes the
argument.
rules up as he goes along.
I do. All right,
He
Dave.
usually changes them when he knows he's losing. So
This is definitely a flashback to
I feel
convince
good.
me. All right.
I feel like I'm in good shape here with those first two arguments. All right, go ahead, Dave.
I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, they have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Obviously, not in the Super Bowl. It's not like college football with there's going to be a home team playing in their stadium, but they're a complete football team. Sam Darnold has proven he's a good NFL quarterback. They can run the ball. They've got a good offensive line. They've got good receivers led by Jackson Smith and Jigba, and they've got a really good defense. So, and it's a tough play. They don't just have home field advantage. It's one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. They're a complete team. Home field advantage. Give me the Seahawks.
Ooh, okay. So Cole Bills, Ryan Broncos, and Dave Seattle Seahawks. All three are wrong. The correct answer is the Philadelphia Eagles. All right. First off, Cole, the Bills are going to lose today. Jacksonville's taking out
I hope they
your
do.
pick
I
today.
hope they do.
I don't think that's right.
Dave, your argument, Sam Darnold, I'm throwing that one away right away. Sam Darnold winning a Super Bowl.
Ask JSN what it's like playing with Sam Darnold.
And the Broncos are fraud, won a lot of close games. They're not getting it done. We're taking the defending Super Bowl champ, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, tons of talent all over the place. Isaiah, I'm taking the Eagles. All right.
I feel like the 49ers are the team that's losing today.
You are the judge, Isaiah. Who made the best case?
So his best case, not just which team he agrees with.
It is. That's how I'm doing it. I think it should be best argument.
Okay.
Because as far as teams go, all these teams are pretty indifferent to me. I could see arguments for each of them. But the two things that I believe as I went through this, Cole made a good point. You need to make it far and lose.
Go to break.
And then to make it far and win. I like Big talking about head coaching matters. Some QB play matters as well. Dave talking about the home field advantage. I like that. Scotty went ahead and just ripped everybody else's team apart, which was an interesting take as well.
That's what he does.
Yeah, that's what he does. So I'm going to lean with this one. I'm going to go with Bake.
Oh, no!
I'm going to say head coaching and QB play matters. I'm leaning with Bake on
I
this
take
one.
back best producer in On the Money history.
And by the way,
it was Bodie.
You have to.
I feel like I have to pass my gavel down now to young Isaiah.
And I know the Bengals didn't win it in 2021, but they came out of nowhere. They didn't have a history of like getting deep in the playoffs and losing. They just went all the way to the Super Bowl. I almost made an argument for the Jags. The Jags remind me a little bit of the Bengals 4 years ago.
The Jags are playing really good right now, too.
And what's amazing is how wide open this whole thing is. Like, you could literally make an argument, I think, about 8 teams to win it all.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. I wish we had another hour, but you guys stick around out there because Fan Sports Sunday is next with Cole and Ryan. Thank you very much for joining us. For Scotty Vegas and Isaiah Jacob, I am Dave Biddle. This has been On the Money.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. News.